Heyo, Monk on the Hill here. This is the story Will you shut up, please? This is the story of Creamy. It's my oldest hen, and it's been a story with many ups and downs. I bought her, can't really remember, like 5 years ago, and the only reason buying her was because my flock then was reduced. My flock then was reduced to maybe 4 hens and 1 rooster. And these poor hens, they were just, let's say, 4 hens, 1 rooster. That doesn't work out because the rooster has its needs, and if there are 2 little hens, then that won't turn out right for the hens. So I bought 2 more just to make the rooster happy, and Creamy, she was one of them. I bought them already with a certain age so they could serve the rooster's needs. And if you're buying some new hens and put them to your other flock, then the hens you bought together, they will usually stick together. And Creamy somehow, I don't know if she's just an introvert or an underdog, or I'm not sure, she just followed her friend around, not really interacting with the other flock, just sticking with her friend. Unfortunately, after about a year, her friend died. I can't really remember why that was, bird attack or illness. So suddenly she was all alone, and what she did then, I don't know. She got depressed, I would say. She didn't went out anymore with the others. She just stayed in the coop, which meant that I fed all the chickens in the morning and then opened the gate to let them out. Usually the other birds were eating something and then rushing outside, leaving her alone in the coop. She could eat all the leftovers, and it's normal what will happen if you're just eating and not moving a lot. She got fatter and fatter, and that didn't help her movement at all. So it actually only got worse. Yeah, I think you're done with that, Creamy. I just gave her some power food, aka meat, and I added some propolis just to give her an extra energy boost. But then there was even a time when she became the favorite hen of my then rooster, Chicho, and they stick together for quite a while, slept together on the roost, and that was also the time when the spores of Chicho, they grew massive and they were razor sharp weapons. So it happened that Creamy got sliced up on the sides and she was just dripping blood. But knowing how well chickens are healing, I didn't do anything. What I did, of course, was shortening the spores of the rooster, and she recovered quite well. So she was always the last one coming off the roost and the first one going back up there to sleep. But this was actually the reason why she was one of the few survivors when I had a really bad fox attack. So while the others got slaughtered, she was still up on the roost where the fox couldn't get to it. Then I built this coop here, much bigger, and brought in a whole load of other chickens, but she never really adapted to them and stayed alone most of her time. She still have a friend from the old flock and they're hanging out together, but she never really wanted to go out. So when I set up the roost first, I had this one additional pole where she could jump up, because I realized she just don't like the usual chicken ladders. But still, she got fatter and fatter, probably also not so healthy, and one day I realized she couldn't get up on the roost anymore. So I built her another set of stairs with more poles in between, so she used that to go up there to sleep. That's when I had the idea I have to make her a different set of stairs to go outside. I did that with a certain amount of effort, but nah, it wasn't it. Then I realized one day she would try to get out over an additional pair of steps that I actually had for myself. So I built another set of stairs with wider steps to get out. She didn't like that. Every now and then I lifted her outside and even carried her to a nice patch of grass, and yeah, she enjoyed it, but never stayed there for long. But she would never go outside by herself, except for this one time. I came into the chicken coop and Creamy wasn't around. I went out searching for her and there she was.
This makes me so happy. Seeing her going out by herself, eating fresh grass, being in company, sunlight. She didn't have that for so long. So I hope she'll do that now every day. Again, getting a bit fitter, slimmer, healthier.
But I realized she only went out because I sprayed some stuff in the chicken coop and that she wanted to escape. Many of you might have slaughtered her already. That's not really a thing I like to do. If a hen is obviously suffering, then of course I release her. But you know, she's eating, she's drinking, she's hanging out with at least this one friend. So for a chicken, I would say, yeah, she's still okay. Then suddenly I realized that she was only sitting in the nest, not getting out of here. And I thought, now it's about time to send her to the neighbor's soup. But thankfully for the cameras I have around here, one day I saw that it was just because there were some bullies around of the new hens, and she was really fat and had this fat bolt behind. And this one bully was pecking on her naked behind. So she was just hiding in there that she won't get pecked on. Then I switched my feeding system only to automatic chicken feeders. And that's when she actually had to walk and go there and do her own effort to get some food. And from that day on, she got slimmer again. Might be the movement that she has, or just getting really old now. And every night I bring the chickens some vegetables. First I started that to lure them all in the evening, but I keep on doing that just to make sure that Mrs. Creamy here is having also some healthy food that the others could get outside by eating grass. But because of her being first one on the roost, I had to do an additional effort, so I was more or less hand feeding her. Then on the roost I installed a platform where I could put some food down for her. That works pretty well. Yeah, now that she's getting older and weaker, she often sleeps in the nest. Sometimes I lift her up on the roosts. Not so sure how much she likes that. And I'm not so sure about slaughtering. I mean, of course, I don't want her to suffer, but you know, dying is a natural thing, and sometimes I really just like to leave the dignity to an animal to die by natural causes instead of deciding myself when it's time to go. So I will see how long she will make it. I would love to see her outside more often, but it's obviously not her thing. So yeah, that's the story of Creamy, my old fat depressed lady, and we'll see how long she will make it. So leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.